Okay. Yeah, I guess it's ready. Let's get started. Hi everyone. My name is Enrique. I'm the training manager here in Peru, and I'm here with one of our volunteers.
Hi guys, my name is Brooklyn, and I am a 4th year volunteer currently. And I did my 2-year service in Cajamarca as a SED volunteer, a business development.
And we also have on the line Marcela.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcela Trask, and I am at Peace Corps headquarters in Washington, D.C. I'm your country desk officer, and I have been the one that's been sending you all those emails.
All right, thank you, Marcela. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about language learning here at Peace Corps. We're going to talk about your language proficiency interview, and then at the end, we're going to answer some of the questions that you have sent through email, okay? So I'm going to ask Brooklyn to start telling you about her experience learning Spanish here in Peru.
Yeah, so basically before you get here, you'll take an interview that kind of puts you at a certain level. And then when you come into training, you'll be for 3 months taking Spanish classes with other peers who are at your same level. So for me, I came in at beginner, like a high beginner level. And you have to get to a certain intermediate level to swear in. And so throughout training, you work in groups of, I think there were 5 people in my class. And, it was every day we worked on things, but it was very dynamic. So, instead of just, here's a textbook, here's the vocab and learn, you work with the teachers and they use pictures, they take you out into the community. You have to practice the things you're using and be able to talk not just about the technical vocabulary for your specific sector, but also the things that you need to know to live on your own, so daily life, shopping, eating, how to get around town, things like that. And so they work on a lot of like real life situations, so you'll be in your class and you'll maybe like role play or do other things like that to make it more dynamic. And for me, that helped so much because I'm sure like a lot of you've taken Spanish classes I took Spanish classes in high school for 2 years and then college. I did a study abroad in Spain where, I was with 30 Americans and we didn't really speak that much Spanish. And so coming here, like that full total immersion really helped me learn. So I guess my biggest point would be when you're coming into this country and if you're nervous about Spanish, don't be, because all of the teachers here are just dying to help you. They want you all to swear in. They want you all to go with a working level of Spanish to your communities. And so if you come in with a good attitude and ready to learn, it'll be really easy. And then on top of Spanish classes, you also live with a Peruvian family during training. And that for me was the biggest challenge and the biggest help during my training time, because I remember the first day coming in and my little mama, she was like, talking to me so fast and I did not understand anything. And so using like hand signs and smiles and just spending time with the family, it was really interesting because then by the end of my 3 months, when I was maintaining conversations at the dinner table and able to watch TV with them and understand a little bit of the cartoons that were going on, basic level. But it really like showed you that, with total immersion, the whole process Peace Corps uses, you'll really be able to get to those next levels while you're in training. And then should I talk a little bit about sight too?
Yeah.
Okay. So then after training, you'll swear in and everybody goes to their own communities. And I lived in the mountains in Cajamarca for 2 years. And so when I got there, like they really stress that the biggest focus should be your community diagnostic or the tools. I think it's changed a little bit, but the tools you have to get to know the community and figure out who those key socios are going to be and everything. And language-wise, when I got there, they really do understand that like when you go to your site, you're also still learning. And so just getting out of bed every day, going to make those friends, like just sitting in the plaza and waiting to see who comes up and using your Spanish skills. I noticed in my first 6 months at site, my Spanish increased like tenfold during those 6 months because all of the community members, they were excited for me to be there and they wanted to help me. And so they would invite me to dinner or just sit in the park and the kids would help. And, really just like using those Spanish skills, you continue to improve and improve and improve and improve. So my point is, when you get here, just come with an open mind, come willing and energetic to learn. And the Spanish will come little by little, poco a poco, like we say in Spanish here. So, yeah.
Do you want to tell like an anecdote or something that happened to you with like the process of learning Spanish?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There are a lot of them. So, you know, when you first come in and, for example, you go to the store and you're like, you know, I want the fruta that's rojo. Like, you don't know how to say the word apple, you know? And so using your hand signs and using all of this, people kind of can note that you're not from Peru. And so what happens a lot of times, and my host mom taught me this when we got here, is you'll go to the market and you'll, you know, be trying to talk or whatever, and then you'll say, ¿cuánto cuesta? Like, how much does it cost? And they'll tell you a price that's almost 3 times higher than it really does. And so going with my mom, it was funny because the first time she took me to the market, she was shocked when they told me the price of a food. And so she taught me, she was like, no, you have to learn how to negotiate, you know? And so she taught me all the little tricks to say. And now I'm proud to say that after 4 years, I go to the market and I can get a Peruvian price because I learned how to negotiate. So that was one. And then another one, you know, I mean, people here are just so open to laughing with you and, you know, making you feel comfortable and explaining things to you. And so there are those times where you get the weird slang words that you're just like, I don't understand. What does this mean, you know? And so one of those in Peru, it was really funny. I was with a bunch of people in my town, like one of my first few months. And I kept noticing that every time a new person came to the group, they'd be like, hola, mi pata, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, mi pata? And I kept hearing this word, pata, pata. And so I look it up in the dictionary and I'm like, I think that means animal leg. Like, it literally means like the leg, like pierna is like a human leg and pata is an animal leg. And I remember just being so confused. Why is everyone calling each other animal legs? Like, hey, animal leg, how you doing? What's up? And I did not understand it at all. And so it was funny because I asked one of my Peruvian friends later that day, and she explained to me that in Peru, the word pata means like friend. You know, it's kind of like a slang word that means like, oh, my friend, my brother, like, you know, like someone you're really close to. You would say, hola, mi pata. So just, you know, I think that's just like a small anecdote to kind of show you guys that really, I mean, coming here, I have traveled a lot throughout South America, and Peruvian people are some of the nicest you will ever meet. They are so open, and especially in the communities where you guys are going, that they're so excited for you to get there. They're so open to helping you. So any worries you have with Spanish, just be willing to laugh at yourself, be willing to enjoy the process, to put in the effort, right? Because we do have to learn all the grammar and vocab and things like that. But just like get out there and use it. And I promise you guys, you will make it through, and you'll finish your 2 years, and you'll be so surprised at how much Spanish you know. So get excited.
All right. Thank you, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All right, so now what's going to happen next week is your language proficiency interview. Like Brooklyn said, you're probably like done like, what, 3 of them?
Yeah,
like,
3 of them.
Your years.
And I keep getting better. So,
so right, we have 3 levels. The first level is novice, then we have intermediate, and we have advanced, and then superior, which is the maximum level you can get. And then when we call you next week, according to the time slots that you have selected on Doodle. If you haven't done that yet, please go to the link that I sent and sign up for 1 time slot. You will receive a call from one of our language and culture facilitators. They're certified language proficiency interviewers. And they will call you and they'll start asking you questions in Spanish. They'll start asking you questions like, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Y qué haces día a día? And so you can describe your routines, and they'll keep asking you questions depending on your level. Okay, so just don't be nervous, relax, and try to answer what you can. And if you can't, you don't understand, it's okay. The reason for this, that we're doing this LPI is to help you and place you in the language class that's best suited for you. Okay, so that way you can work with people who are at your same level, and you'll work with a language facilitator who's going to help you to the next level. Okay, so that's the important thing about the LPI. So just relax and do your best and hablen español. Okay?
And on that note, there's no wrong answers. So really, when he says that, just be calm. Say what you can say, because it's better that you get put in a group that's at your level than if you're stressing about it and you end up, you know, in a group that's not correct.
Exactly. All right, and we can make changes afterwards, right? We've had people who felt like during the language proficiency interview, they didn't do very well. You know, sometimes they don't do well on the phone, and then when they arrived here, then we did another assessment. So that's totally fine. So don't worry about it. It's just an initial interview to find out what your level is, okay? And then something that we're doing this year, so you're the very first training class that's getting this, is we're offering Skype lessons for people who are at a novice level, okay? Because what we want is during these 3 months of pre-service training is to get those people who are at a novice level to get to the intermediate mid-level at least, right? So what we want to do is we want to help all invitees who have a lower level of Spanish and give them language sessions via Skype with our language facilitators. And you will meet with them twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on your availability. These sessions are totally optional, okay? And so don't worry, you don't have time. I understand that a lot of people are still working full-time jobs. People are getting ready for exams. So it's totally understandable. It's not a requirement or anything. It's totally optional. It's just an extra thing that we're offering to help people at a novice level. And in case you're a novice learner of Spanish and then you don't have the time, it's okay. Once you get to post, we'll work on a plan to get you to the level. So don't worry about that. In our past training classes, everybody has been able to make it to the level, to the intermediate mid-level, because we have language facilitators who work with you one-on-one, who are super dedicated. And as Brooklyn said, we all want you to be successful, and we all want you to get to the goal that is swearing in right after the 3 months of pre-service training. Okay, so just don't stress out, relax. We're here to support you. That's where we're here, and we want you to be successful. Okay, so just keep communicating. Thank you to the people who have reached out to me. In case that you cannot make it next week on the 5th and 6th, on the 6th and 7th when we have the interviews. It's okay, just shoot me an email and then we'll be able to reschedule it for a time that's most suitable for you, okay? So that's with the language proficiency interview. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me. Now, we also had some other people asking other questions on the Facebook group. That's, again, the Facebook group, I understand that not everybody has a Facebook account, and it's okay if you don't have a Facebook account. You don't have to get one if you don't want to. Again, it's an optional thing. It's just a way for us to be in touch with you and to communicate with you and connect, and for you to connect with your fellow invitees before you get here to Peru. So it's okay. There are other ways to communicate with us. Email is still the official way of communicating with me and with Marcela. Marcela, your CDO, she's the one sending you all the emails and all the communications. She's the one who will be sending you the information about staging that's going to happen in Miami. So expect emails from her, check your mailboxes, and write to Marcela if you have questions too, okay? Another thing that I wanted to share with you is the use of our let me see if I can share my screen. Yes. So all of you should have received information and guidelines on how to log on to Learning Space. Marcela sent an email to all of you. And so you go, basically, this is the website, learning.peacecorps.gov. When you go in here, you will see the courses. You have to complete the orientation to safety and security, core expectations, and HIV basics. Marcela has already sent you the instructions on how to log on to this site. If you have any problems accessing the site, let me know. Now, when you go in here, you'll find these courses that are mandatory, and then you'll also find this part that says Peru 31 training space. When you go in there, you'll find this information here that says pre-departure. So there's one group for community economic development, and there's one group for water and sanitation. Water and sanitation is the project for the health sector, right? So if you receive your invitation and you are health sector, what we call it here in Peru is water, sanitation, and hygiene, or WASH, right? So you have information here about the online resources, the LPI fact sheet for you to read before you take your LPI next week. And I've also added a link with videos, sample LPI interviews, so that you can access it and then you can see what it is like to have a full LPI, okay, with different levels, novice, intermediate, and advanced. So I'm going to continue uploading information here, materials, resources, schedules, so you can have better ideas of what's going to happen during the next 3 months. So please go here and access all these materials. Again, if you have questions, email me or Marcela, but you're going to be able to find all the answers to most of your questions here. I'm also going to upload a document that's called the Bridge to Pre-Service Training. That document has a lot of information and a lot of answers to the questions that you might have right now. Okay? Marcela? Marcela, you on the line?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to say anything else about Learning Space, about the courses that they have to complete?
No, I think you've covered it. If you have any trouble with it, please email me and I'll resend you the email that was sent with the original instructions. I do want to remind everybody to complete their activities on the invitee portal. Those are very important. They include your direct deposit information, your authorizations for release of information for taxes, and it's all very important. And you have to go through each form and press save or submit until it walks you through all of the activities, and you do them until you get to the final review. And so if you have any questions with that, let me know, because I can see all of your tasks, and we will not be able to sign you in and enter you on duty as an official trainee without having completed all those activities. So it's very important that you get those done as soon as possible. And as Enrique said, we'll be sending you the instructions for reporting to staging. And your staging is on March 13th in Miami, Florida. And we will be sending you a very detailed email in the next 2 weeks as to who to contact about booking your flights and what hotel you'll be staying at and more logistics information. And I'd be happy to answer those questions once you get the email about staging. And I'm also reaching out to a couple of people in the training class because the visa applications were incorrectly completed. So you'll get a personal email from me if I need you to resubmit your visa application. Otherwise, please continue to work on your medical clearance or your legal clearance. Keep an eye on that. It's still pending. And I'm here and available if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marcela. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the Duolingo program. You guys have been working on it for 2 weeks. Again, this is an optional activity. It's a way for us to help you refresh your knowledge of the Spanish language. I know that all of you, or most of you, if not all, have taken Spanish courses, maybe in high school or college. So we want you to be able to practice with Duolingo and basically just get into the habit of practicing, because that's very important while you're here in PST. We want you to be able to practice every day. So that's what we're asking you to do, at least 15 minutes a day for 5 days, so that you can get into the habit of practicing Spanish before you get here. Okay, so keep working on Duolingo. I will continue sending you updates every week. And then we also have challenges, right? Like we did, thank you to the people who posted their videos, introductory videos. That was really cool. You're practicing your Spanish. That's great. So continue doing that. I'm going to send you another challenge for the following week so that you can get to know more about Peru, and you can get to know more about the people in your class. Okay? So I received a question from one of the invitees in the class about phones. So you want to talk about the phone service?
Yeah, sure. So you get these awesome Nokia phones from Peace Corps that are like this big and have the old Snake game on them if you're lucky. And you'll get those, I think, in your first.
Yeah, your first day in country.
Yeah, so you'll get it right away. And it has a network that lets you talk to all volunteers and Peace Corps staff for free. And then aside from that, you can put like a little bit of money on it if you wanted to call people who don't have the same provider. So it's a Movistar phone, Telefonica, and you can call within that network for free, which all Peace Corps staff and volunteers have it. And then if you want to make outside calls or things like that, you can put more money on. And it's really easy. They're all over Peru, and it's a very convenient way to stay in touch with people. So you will be in contact with people, don't worry. And then aside from that too, if you're wondering about like your American phone, most volunteers will bring their iPhone or Android or whatever unlocked. And then there's the most common one amongst volunteers is another service called Betel, a phone company. And you can get like a little chip to put in your phone, and it has unlimited internet. It's like 3G, sometimes pretty slow, but it works for 30 soles a month, so about $10. And that's a very common thing. That was my internet in sight for the whole 2 years, was that phone. So, because you can turn it into a hotspot and then connect your computer too. It's very slow, but it works. So there's definitely options here to stay connected. So don't worry about an international plan from the US or anything like that. You'll find stuff here for the 2 years.
Yeah, thank you, Brooklyn. Just remember that every site is different. Like internet connectivity for most sites, what we tell our volunteers, most people will not have access to internet or data in their plans, even like if maybe it's super slow, like Brooklyn was telling you, or maybe you just don't get connection at all. Internet is really, really hard to get in some of our communities. In the rural communities where our volunteers work, it might be really hard to get. So there are other ways to communicate, of course, and we will tell you more about that once you're here. But in terms of phones and calls, yes, you will be able to make phone calls with your Peace Corps provided phone, and you'll have that as soon as you get here, because it's really important to start communicating with your host families. You will need your phones, okay? So don't worry about that. Another question I have was about staging, and Marcela's already told you the dates. March 13th in Miami, and then March 14th, you'll be arriving here in Peru, okay? We'll send you more information about that and the steps, but don't worry about it. We got it all covered. We'll have people from here, from the Peace Corps office at the airport welcoming you, so don't worry about it. We'll send you more information about the specifics of that day in the following weeks. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if there are any other questions from. I was checking the Facebook group. Nobody really had any other specific questions. But if you happen to have any other questions, please feel free to email us. Email me or Marcela. We're here to help you and yeah, to answer any of your questions. Okay. So do you have any other thing?
Yeah, I guess maybe the only other thing I'd recommend is while you're in this exciting time of getting ready to come, check out volunteer blogs, because we have a lot of really great bloggers who write about all the cool stuff that they're doing in their sites. And so I think in the Peace Corps Peru Facebook group, I think some volunteers were starting a list of a few blogs, or just Google Peace Corps Peru blogs, and you'll be able to find some really cool stories there to get you excited. And the other thing I would say is just as far as packing and preparing and stuff goes, just remember you're coming to live here and you'll have access to things here too. So don't stress too much about, making sure that you have all the latest and greatest and whatever. Like you'll get here and make it work. You'll make this your home. So, and finally, reach out to any volunteers in the Facebook group, through their blogs, through social media. Everybody here is super excited for you guys to come. So if you have any pressing questions while you're getting ready, we're all here to support you guys. Welcome to the family.
Hey, thank you, Rosa. Yeah, I'll upload a list of popular volunteer blogs from Peru to the learning space so that you can access it from there. Maybe you can help with that. Put together a list, and then you can easily access the blogs and then read about the volunteers' experiences. And I'm sure a lot of volunteers are reading about packing.
Yeah.
So,
yes,
so you can read about that and then see what get some ideas and insights. Right, Marcela?
Yes.
Do you have any other thing that you want to share?
No, I think I went through all my reminders. I do get questions about loan information, like verifications of service, and that's all in the invitee portal. So please look up that section of the invitee portal. And if you still have applications that need to be certified by somebody at Peace Corps, please bring those copies with you to staging, and we'd be happy to complete them then. And I look forward to our next conference call where we will be able to answer some more of these questions, but I'm always available by email, and I look forward to meeting all of you in Miami.
All right. Thank you, Marcela. Thank you, Marcela. Thank you, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone, for watching, and then we'll be in touch, all right? Bye. Ciao.